welcome to Brand Your Dream Show, the third season, and Beata Seweryn-Reid is for you today, and we're talking about leadership. Beata is a leadership coach, and she is also speaker, and she will share with you the ideas how visibility can impact you, how to be a great leader, and a lot more. Welcome to the show, Beata.
Thank you so much, Eve. It's my pleasure and honor to be on your show and to talk to you again.
It's amazing. I saw your journey from the time when you started your first show on Facebook, I guess, and it was very interesting. And I just remember that like a first steps. And now you are speaking on stages. You are so empowering. You're speaking about this leadership. I was watching some of your talks, wherever you post on Facebook, of course. And I think it's amazing story and amazing journey. Can you tell our viewers something about this? Because I think it will be inspirational starter.
Absolutely. So, as your listeners, your audience can hear, I have an accent. So I'm originally from Poland, living in US currently. And I did all kind of jobs, but deep down I always wanted to I knew that there is something else. I wanted to discover that mission that was growing in me to help people to become better. I couldn't really say what is it for a long time, and I signed up when I moved to US. I struggled with oh my gosh, you are in similar situation now. I
Yeah.
moved to a new country. I had to adapt, adjust, and it was tough. So I eventually I found the mentors, and they helped me with all kinds of main mindset and other stuff. But one big revelation for me, it was that I want to help people to grow from the inside out. And we had this conversation with my coach at that time about where I come from and how this background is actually impacting me. And I said that, well, I was born and grew up in Poland, in communistic country. And we started talking about leadership because my mentor said, you are a great leader. You lead yourself through all these challenges. And I said, really? And then we talked about this background and said, well, I come from Poland. This leadership, since I was a little, was not so good. And I cannot say that it's changed much, but it changed a lot, but from communism. But as a little child, and I forgot I forgot that it was my interest when I was a child. I was remember that I always asked my mom, why we cannot just leave? And she was always saying, because of our leadership, our government. We can. It's like, wow, but there is no walls. And she's like, no, there are walls. We cannot cross the borders because we can. The government won't. So the funny thing, in my little brain, it was like, this leadership is sucks, and I want to grow up, and I want to go through these invisible walls because I know that there is something better, and I want help these people to build themselves and become better leaders. And the one sentence that is still sticking to me, that my mom told me when one day I came, like, I hate this, we cannot travel, we can do anything, like, why I was born here, and why we cannot just remove these leaders, like just kick them, like, the kid children's talk. And she was like serious kind of, and look at me and said, child, if you can't follow a leader, you better become one. And that sentence, I took it uh, with me for the rest of my life. And it was very helpful every time when I was going through challenges and when I was disagreeing with the world, like, why is it that way? Why I at work, I started working in United States, and the leadership that they taught me at school, the best is in United States. It turned out it's not that great. It's the same. You need to be liked to get promoted. all this behind the scene games. And I always reminded myself, if you cannot follow a leader, you better become one. And it's when I decided that my mission in this lifetime is to help people to become a leader, the authentic leaders, to related to visibility. You have to be seen. So
Mhm.
to help them to be seen as a leader. And there is this funny misunderstanding that I noticed. People believe that leadership and leader is someone in a corporation and someone
Mm.
in a suit with a title, and mostly they are powerful. And when I say powerful, not in a good way, they use their power to make them important and gain authority, but they are very often not that great as a leaders. So my mission is to bring healthy leadership back to the front line, and to remind people that we are all leaders. If you're a single mom, dad, parent, if you're a kid, if you're a neighbor, I don't know, community leader, whoever you are, when you wake up in the morning and you look in a mirror, ask yourself, who is leading that person?
Mhm.
Because if it's not you, I think there is some work to do. So every morning when I decide what my day will look like, I have to say, I'm in charge. I'm in charge of my life. Like, if
Mhm.
you could be the biggest complainer in your situation, knowing what is happening in your country, and stay in a corner and cry, but you said no.
Mhm.
I'm in charge of my life, and I'm gonna move on and build. You're building everything from scratches.
Yeah.
And it's what leadership is about. Sometimes you come and you have to build everything from scratches. I came through this country with all my titles. I have master degree, I have other degrees, and it didn't matter.
Mhm.
All it mattered, it was my experience and how I show up.
Mhm.
And if I would hide myself and also say, oh, me poor immigrant, I cannot do anything, I would probably go back or I would cry. But I decided, no, I don't like this leadership that I am under. So I'm going to leave and create my own business, and I'm going to
Mhm.
help people to become leaders, not only in corporations, but also in their own lives.
Mhm. First of all, first comment, your mom is genius. I love the quote. It's brilliant. Absolutely. It's itself like, worth of half of the interviews I took because it's really, really cool. It's superb. So amazing. Second thing, absolutely leadership story. I love it. And I love that it's already inspirational. So you can sense that you've spoken about leadership for a while because it's like, you don't need to think about it. It's like coming up, the story and things like this. It's absolutely amazing. What I want to ask you, because we come to the first question about the visibility, is how visibility impacted your path and what you recommend in terms of visibility specifically. We will come to the 3 tips later, but this part specifically, what do you think leaders need to do? Because as we said, as you said, that leadership is not necessarily the authority position. Leadership is what we do, what action we choose to take. It's pretty much about choices. It's about responsibility. It's about trust. So when we talk about leadership, showing up as a leader, what does it mean?
And again, as a leader, as a human, as business owner or entrepreneur, being visible is now nothing more than being seen,
Mhm.
being trusted, and you mentioned the trust, and remembered. In leadership we call it respected. We have to own our three things. And either you are a leader in the corporation at home, or you are a business owner, you are in a business of changing lives. you are in business of influence. You have to influence whoever you are leading to follow you, to trust you, and you have to own their respect so they do it. So I call it CIA. You need these three things: credibility, influence, and authority. And you can gain it only through being visible. In my case, with my business, I was a coach. I was working like that most of the time. Mostly I was visible online with posts and networking and all that stuff. But then I discovered, because when we educate ourselves, when we grow as a leaders, you discover that there is another mission. It's not, yeah, you grow, you need to, I want to impact more people than one-on-one. So I discovered that I love to present on the stage. That stage is my home. Even I'm scared to death, and come on, I can do it. I don't know for how long I do it now, for a while, but it doesn't matter. Every time I'm just about to step on the stage, I'm scared. My stomach is like, oh no, no. My mind's like, you don't remember anything. You're probably gonna screw it up. Like, I don't know. But then I step on the stage, and I feel home. Everything comes back. I just connect to the audience, and I know what to say and how our energy exchange. So, but to be that person, to become that speaker that people want to listen and actually receive, but because we can go and speak, but if people are not receiving, then you are screwed. So to be in that position, I had to overcome my fears. Do it scared. It's probably, you heard that saying, do it scared. And I had to do it scared. And the best way, like you mentioned before, for me, was to put myself in this discomfortable situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I created it was live show, Meaningful Conversations with Beata. I
Mm-hmm.
ran it for 2 years. It was every Tuesday at noon. And I interviewed all kinds of people that I believe they are leaders in their community, or they are bringing something to the table that are creating positive change for people, for they adding value to this world. And you were one of them, right? I interviewed you on my show, but I was, oh my gosh, it was scary to be. And why I did it live, because I knew that I cannot back off, I cannot redo it, I cannot erase. I had to be there and just go with the flow and make it interesting. It was just like I put myself, I challenged myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do it, and if I can't, then I have to learn more. And I was growing and improving with the show. So 2 years, then I decided that I'm gonna take a break. I'm in planning to do the leadership, that pure leadership podcast. But that when you ask me, like, I had to put myself on the spot to be seen and be available for these people. And because, oh my gosh, when we talk about visibility and to be seen, our mind brings all these fears, like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you are not good enough, they are not gonna listen to you, everyone is gonna laugh. So the judgment, the imposter syndrome, everything comes to play. And there is a decision: am I gonna do it anyway, or I'm gonna just sit back and wait for what? Yeah. So I decided to go with it, and I was scared, and I promise I cried many times after closing. Like I finished my interview and I cried, because there was so much of emotions inside that
Mm-hmm.
the releasing was, I was crying. It's like, oh my gosh. But then I noticed people loved it. It was not perfect. It was on the go. Sometimes technology, right?
Yeah.
We love technology. So sometimes technology was not on my side. Sometimes my guest didn't show up because life happens and I had to go by myself. You are ready. You are always ready if you decide to. And it's what leadership is about. You have to be ready for everything and anything.
Hmm.
And one of my messages on the stage is peace is power. So I also teach leaders how to create that inner peace. So and the because leaders, and again, all kinds of leaders, all levels, we are always working in chaos. World is chaos. Everything comes at us at the same time sometimes, and it's very easy to lose it and react instead
Yeah.
of respond, and react, and it's at other people that they have nothing to do with how you feel right now. So I love to bring that topic, create this inner peace, because this peace brings healthy power to you and to everyone involved.
Have a question on the transition from the online show towards the stage, because you say I love stage and things like this. I started recently to rediscover the stage, and I was presenting things when I was in student time, like many, many years ago. Will not mention how many. So, thing is, I because there is an opportunity here, right? The Toastmasters, right, is an international organization, which is like you can easily try yourself out. That was my very easy and very simple step towards the stage, at least for me, which I can try out, like try test the water, so to say. Thing is that when I first attended the meeting, I had that internal conversation which we just discussed, which you perfectly described, because I think this is internal conversation in everybody's head before the stage, like, what I will be talking, who even listen, I'm not good enough, all that kind of stories. So I was observing this situation because I teach people in Visibility Gym how to overcome this conversation. And I'm like, I'm hearing this conversation in my head, and I know that the stage is a little bit different challenge than speaking on video. And I'm like, wow, that's an interesting conversation. And I'm almost patting my mind on back, and I'm like, well done. That's such a stupid conversation. Where did you take this kind of words for me? We didn't speak about this like for years, so it was a stupid internal conversation. But I can tell you that it was really scary as well. And as you said, any time before the stage you're experiencing this, I also interviewed people who are public speakers like for years and years and years, and they also mention that yes, that's a reality. They're sweating, the mouth is dry and all this kind of thing. So that's a thing to overcome for any speakers. We already assume it. So how that first stage happened for you? When that first challenge happened? Because I think this is the most scary part to overcome, and then you can recognize the experience and deal with that somehow.
Well, that's interesting question. I believe the real stage happened to me. I was in coaching with one gentleman, and he has like his events like once a year, and he said, "Hey, I think the best practice for you would be to be on a real stage." And I was like, "Sure, when?" And he's like, "Okay, in the next month I have this event. Would you like to be there? Is like on Thursday evening, there's like 4 VIPs. I don't know what was it, like pre event night. So
Hmm.
it's like, well, why you don't speak for on my stage?" And like, what, in 1 month? No, 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 I need to prepare myself like for serious. And you want me to talk for how long? 30 minutes? Oh, I need like 2 months to prepare myself. And he said, no, 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 you are ready, you just need to show up. And it was I think, oh my gosh, 2018. So it's not that long time ago. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm new, but yes. And then COVID came, so I was very visible online, and it's why I created my show. Do not lose the confidence that I was
Yeah,
gaining.
absolutely.
But it again, my first, I don't even know how I got on the stage and how I left the stage. It was all like in this, what you call it, like this dream that you don't know if you are awake or maybe you are still not. But
Lucid dreaming.
I received so many, and it was recorded. So I even did the speaker reel out of that. So it was, and listened. I didn't want to listen to myself at the beginning. It's like, oh no, oh my gosh, I'm for sure was not that as good as they are, just trying to make like all this, ego talk and mental talk that you said. You called it stupid, and it was kind of probably stupid, but I was scared. But eventually I listened, and it's like, oh my gosh, like you're good. Like,
Mm,
come on, we have to give ourselves credibility too.
mm,
If you like what you did, admit it, because it means that it's your gift and you have to own that gift. Leaders own their gifts.
mhm.
I decided I own it. I'm going to do it. And it's still, I'm still building that skills. It's not given me for once and forever.
Oh, wonderful story. I love it because next question is about authenticity. And I want to twist it a little bit because, to me, you always was very authentic. So you have your moves, your way of talking, your way of dressing. I mean, I could recognize you from the crowd, like from the millions of miles, because you are just one Beata in the world. So you are very unique and recognizable. So, if I will just ask you how to be you, that will be like your own recipe, so people won't be able probably to follow that. So, what do you think the speaker or a leader need to be authentic? Because there is a lot of stories about you need to show up like every single story, every single skeleton from the shelf, show up everything. And that's when you are authentic. Or like, we need to create a persona who is like super charitable or something like this. And that's when you are authentic. Or, I mean, there are a lot of stories. So, what is the authenticity from the leadership perspective for you?
Like you said, you have to be you. You have to, like I tried, and it's funny because I came to US and I thought that I'm not enough for this career. You said also, like, we got rejections. We feel like we are good for the job. We are good for whatever. And then you are rejected, rejected, rejected. So it's like, I'm not enough. So maybe when I adjust myself and become like these people in here. So for me, it was my accent. I was thinking if I could erase my accent, probably I could get anything I want. So I even signed up for it was I think one semester English as a speaking English as a second language class in one of the colleges, but it's not gonna remove my accent, right?
Mm,
So eventually the course was okay, but what I had to realize that we have to accept who we are, and
mm,
it's the most challenging part. I have to accept that I have my accent, and what I'm gonna do with it, I'm gonna use it as a value, as an addition to who I am, or I'm gonna stay shy and maybe ashamed. And if you are ashamed, you are not gonna be seen. And I
mhm,
did it for a while. I didn't want to be seen because I was ashamed of my accent, didn't feel enough. But then I realized that I'm gonna accept it, I'm gonna do something good with it, or I will be miserable. And I don't like to be miserable. No, nobody likes it. So my choice was, okay, I'm gonna use my voice with my freaking Polish heavy accent and spread the message, that because it's more important. And I learned through all these years of mentoring and coaching that when we remove the focus from ourselves and we focus on people that can use our gifts, and if it's speaking, is it, I don't know, whatever you do in your life, use your gifts to help other people. There's this word hope. Help one person every day. help one person every day. And it's what I had to refocus from me, that I'm not that important. People gonna listen to me, but they ain't gonna forget. But they're gonna forget my face maybe, but they won't forget my accent and the message that came with that accent. And if
Mhm.
this message could help one person in the entire room, my mission is fulfilled and I'm happy with it. And it's what leaders do. They take the dirt, they do whatever they have to do, and they don't think about themselves. They think about the bigger mission, because leadership is a mission.
Mhm.
It's not the job. And a lot of leaders forget, after putting the suit, tightening the tights, and being labeled with the title, they forgot why they stop into that mission, why they really do what they do. So I'm here to remind them.
Yeah, I think that being labeled as a leader and really be a leader are two different things. I agree with you 100%. And I love what you said about the fact that, you can change the focus, but a part of that, the interesting thing, you took something which worried you, like an accent, and you thought it impacts you negatively. But then you just refocused it and said it brilliantly. You said, what if I will help someone with
Yes.
this accent? And then my message will be connected with that accent. So you pretty much make it like, your special sauce or something.
Right. And we forgot about that, because yeah, our mind goes usually and focus on these bad things about ourselves. So we put ourselves down instead of lifting up. That's why we need mentors very often. But to relate also, because authenticity is so important, not only in leadership but in like every day. We really, how many of us is trying to be someone else because we feel we are not enough, or we are ashamed of, I don't know, we had the experiences that are we are ashamed of, or maybe we are don't feel like we should share. I learned being a speaker, that your mess, whatever you experience in your life, and maybe you don't think that it's so pretty and it's people shouldn't know it. Usually, your mess is your message, and the more authentically you share your message, the more visible you become for people who need you, because there are people on the other side that they are going through challenging times, and they feel that it's only them who are experiencing that, it's only them, the world cannot understand them, because whatever they go through, it's happening only to them. And then they hear you, or they hear me, and I always have that hope that at the end they say, oh my gosh, if this little Polish girl with this broken English and heavy accent could make it, what is stopping me?
Mhm.
This is authenticity. You have to be authentic so people can hear you and can relate to you, and you will help more souls than you can imagine.
You know what is interesting? And I think I will tell something which will be new for you as well. Um, because in my country, I think Polish women always considered like super stylish women. And that's how I always perceived you before I even knew you, because we met in different groups. So I saw you and I'm like, oh my God, she's so stylish. And then I heard you speaking and I didn't hear any special accent. I mean, obviously, English is not a first language, neither for you, neither for me. But it didn't bother me at all, because to me you was that stylish woman, like, super confident and things like that. I was admiring like how you position yourself, how you present yourself from the beginning. You didn't even have your show by that time, by the way. So it was way before. And I was like, oh my God, she's so stylish. And that's what many of us don't realize. I believe you don't know this about yourself, right? So
No.
I'm telling you something new about you, that you are super
Oh,
stylish and
oh,
beautiful.
talk to me.
So, I mean, you know that you are stylish and beautiful, but it's a perception about overall, like, that's what I expect from women from Poland, from childhood. It's an idea. It comes through film, through culture, through all. So it's almost like, I think, Polish women in a way, it's like French women for the world. For Ukrainian people, it's Polish women more stylish than anybody, you know. So definitely, and I can agree, for staying 3 months in Poland. Thanks for your help, by the way, during the evacuation as well. You know, I was looking for Polish women from that perspective, what kind of things they put in shops, how they choosing things. And I believe now that it's true, actually, that women in Poland, they know what style is all about. They care about this. They're super stylish. Like, it's just a big part of their life. So it's true. It's,
It's part of the culture, but definitely.
yeah. So I never heard anything wrong about your accent. It is there, it's fine. But I mean, the stylish part was first, right? So this is something to think for many people, as you said, who like looking at you, looking at me, you know, they want to speak publicly, they want to share their ideas, but they think that they're not good enough. You know, there's somebody who think that you are super stylish or extra beautiful or super talented, and you think, oh my god, my accent is terrible, I'm never going to speak. You
Yeah,
know,
there's an imposter syndrome, right? That we lock
exactly.
ourselves in. Yeah.
And they didn't care about your accent
No,
at all. They have
no,
different perception about you.
absolutely. I sometimes I have like after I speak, people comes like, oh my God, just talk to me. I love your accent. And I'm like, what? So yeah.
What I'm hearing from you, there's a lot of wisdom. So again, I don't hear much about your accent. I care about things, the ideas which you share, because I see them as valuable, and that's what important to me in this specific conversation. So I think it's absolutely amazing, the part of the journey, your experiences. So I would like to know a little bit more, or maybe a lot more, about the ideas which you want to share with our viewers. Because first of all, I apologize for the sound effect. I can hear myself somewhere on a background, so I would allow you to speak way more.
Oh,
So
see, I can't hear anything, so I don't
yeah.
know what you're
So
talking about.
if we have any lags, I apologize for that. Beata will speak, and I don't hear any issues with that moment. So now I'm going to give a mic to you, and please share three best tips with our viewers. What would you like to share with them about visibility, leadership, whatever you want to share?
Yes, so I thought about that because I heard that you might ask that kind of question. So I thought that visibility is very important. And it's again, it's important not only if you're a business person or entrepreneur, it's important for every human in this world if you want to achieve anything in your life. So number one, please be seen, not for you, but for the impact you can make. And yes, it will be uncomfortable at the beginning because all this monkey chat is gonna tell you you are not good enough, you are this and that. But just remember, discomfort is temporary, and the growth on the other side is always permanent. You will grow from it and you will help people, and you're like, wow, I am powerful. So this is advice, I don't know, thought number one. Number two, be confident. Believe in yourself and your product, your gift, whatever service you offer. Believe a little bit more than you don't. And remember that confidence, you are not born. It's hardly ever. I don't, maybe I know one person who states that she was born with confidence. Usually, the confidence comes with practice. So we have to practice what we offer until we become that practice. And how to do it? By being seen and visible and being heard. And it's how people can connect to you and how can relate to you. And tip number three is start before you are ready. Too many of us is waiting for this perfect moment, for the perfect website, for the perfect equipment in a studio and all this. Yeah, I think someone hears me now. So we are waiting for this perfect moment, that this perfect moment never is gonna come. Start right now with what you have and don't stop until you get there.
I absolutely love these tips. I want to have one clarification question because one part of these tips really, really interested me specifically, and
Mhm.
that's confidence. And I
Okay.
thought that you highlighted it. And for many, many people here, confidence specifically taken like they suppressed a lot by society. So we can be confident, we can fake it until we make it and things like this. It's all understandable. But I heard an interview with one very, very famous scientist, and somebody asked him, so why we still didn't mean the aliens, you know? And he's a scientific guy, like very, very smart person. And he said, I think that we are not very interested people for aliens, because imagine then if you have Stephen Hawking as a most known and most fantastic and smart person in a world, and by that time I think he was still alive. He's like, and they have kids like that, so adult people are much more smart, much more intelligent. We would be just boring creatures for them. So maybe that's why. It was obviously scientific joke kind of story, but I instantly had the feedback to him. Probably will write a comment for that conversation one day. Still thinking about it. Because, when we go through society, and we were mentioned this rejection and a lot of circumstances when people judging us and things like that, it's not necessary that if you are the smartest, you win the derby.
Mhm.
Often we just need to have that resilience. We need to have the strength to move forward despite the rejection. We really, really need to believe in ourselves that we can, when all the circumstances say that no, you can't. So it happens. And in fact, the leadership built in this situation, that diamond built through that pressure. But not everybody goes through this. Not everybody, can go through these painful experiences sometimes. And especially the first thing which suffering is believe in yourself and confidence. So I want you to elaborate a little bit on confidence, because I think it's really, really important for business and for future leaders, and even in family, because I think parents are first leaders we met in life.
Sure. So confidence is in leadership, like you said, but in every human life is so important, because if we don't have confidence, we won't go after what we really, really want. And when I say really, really, it's
Mhm.
very important. And it's part of my question with my clients: what do you really, really want? The first really is for everyone else, and those people also that tell you that you are not good enough or who you are to dream that big. And the second is for you. So what do you really want, and why you are not going after it? Because someone once said that you are not good enough, because someone once said that it's impossible to achieve. Who are they?
Mhm.
What kind of authority they are to you? Because if it's the John, the neighbor that didn't do anything for his entire life, but just drinking a beer on the couch and watching Netflix or something, what why would you even pay attention to that kind of words? So confidence is believing in yourself, trusting yourself that you're gonna figure this out. Whatever comes in your life, I had a lot of challenges in my life that I had no opportunity to share here, but I had to believe that no matter what, I will figure this out, because I am resourceful. I have two hands, eyes, ears, like I can do. I will work. I will do whatever is needed, but I will achieve it. And don't forget that you can change your mind. Like when you do stuff and you like, well, it's not really what I want, maybe you can change directions. Nobody's gonna punish you for it except you.
Mhm.
So practice, practice, and practice whatever you do. Speaking, I had to practice my entire life. And it what makes me confident. It's not that I was confident and stepped on the stage and started speaking. No, I was scared, I was afraid, I cried, I screamed inside, I had to run to bathroom, like all this human stuff. I'm just human, so I'm gonna experience all of it. And nobody is gonna come and tell you, if you are confident from now on, you can achieve anything, because it's like they are crazy. Like, what they know about me? Nobody knows about you. Nobody knows who you are on the inside. So you build your own confidence by doing things that you are scared of the most, because it's when you are scared, it means that it's what you're supposed to practice and be doing, and then confidence comes, and it's with everything in life.
I love it. And interestingly, based on the science, human brains, we as humans behaviorally more likely believe in that negative words from the ultimate John who is watching that Netflix than
Yeah,
if somebody will tell us that we are confident.
but he's the smartest to give you all the advice about your education, about your finances.
Exactly.
He knows, or she, whoever is that person, the grandma, aunt, I don't know,
Yeah.
even parents. Sometimes they say the most, and they
Yeah.
look at their life. What did they achieve? If they did not achieve what you are going after, I think you are looking at the wrong direction.
Exactly. And like, we don't really listen when people say that you can do it. Some
Yeah.
people will try to encourage us, but unless we build it inside, it really doesn't work. So you're
And we are
absolutely
creature
right.
of habits, yes. But
It's so much important.
also, if for the audience and for us, reminder, we can always change our surroundings. You can always pick different people that will inspire you, that will be always in your corner, because
Hmm.
they already walked that path, and they
Hmm.
know that with work that you're gonna put in, and if you surround yourself with people that will inspire you and support you, you can go far. You can.
Yeah. And, in this evacuation time, I also looked on people who respond and care and support. You're one of them for sure. Like, it was really interesting Lathmouth paper to see who really care and who is like, yeah, nice, how are you? Fine, that's my care. And they never like get back again or something like this. So the level of involvement, it's really, we need to choose carefully who we're talking to. I mean, you are absolutely right. Um, I mean, nothing to
And
add.
those people that show up and say, "Oh, how are you? Oh, good, bye,"
Yeah,
are not your people. And I
absolutely.
think it's a blessing, actually, because you and me and everyone, we are wasting so much time investing in relationships that are not for us. And when I'm saying relationships, it can be in business, it can be friendships, can be any relationship. And you give and give, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to call her, him, and they don't respond, and you are still trying. But why?
Yeah.
Obviously, they are not your people, and you have to
Hmm.
move on. And you know how universe works. You have to make space for something better. So make the space for better people.
And I mean, I love all your recommendations. I'm like, I can listen to you like guru for hours and hours and hours, like,
And if you want to talk about aliens, we can do that too. Another time.
So a point is like really, I mean, what you say is absolutely amazing because really investing in right people is also leadership choice. Who we run in with and which pack we choose, because which pack will lead. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Where people can connect with you, Beata.
The best way, it would be LinkedIn, and you find me under my name, Beata Seweryn-Reid, and I know it's difficult to pronounce, but if we'll drop a link,
All the
and
links will be here.
you can connect or just say hi or whatever you want, whatever you're ready for.
And invite you for speaking events, right?
Absolutely. If you like my energy, if you like my silly accent, because my accent attracts attention. It's what one mentor told me.
Mhm,
Because of your accent, people need to really lean in and focus on what you say. I said, great.
mhm.
So please invite me. I can speak wherever.
Again, I mean, I didn't notice your accent as much. I really, really focus on ideas which you share, and whatever you say, it's like, yes, 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 you're right, you know.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you.